The struggle of the Kurds. Language, identity, and resistance in Turkey. When we think about oppressed peoples in modern times, one of the most enduring stories is that of the Kurds in Turkey. Numbering over 15 million, the Kurds are the largest stateless nation in the world, spread across Turkey, Iraq, Syria, and Iran. For centuries, they have preserved their identity through language, song, and tradition. Yet in Turkey, their very right to speak their mother tongue or celebrate their heritage has been met with fierce suppression. This conflict, simmering for decades, reveals not only a struggle for cultural survival but also the lengths to which states will go to silence minority voices. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like and subscribe to Yahweh Stories 44 for more stories of hidden history and struggles they never teach in school. The roots of Kurdish suppression in Turkey go back to the founding of the Turkish Republic in 1923. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk envisioned a unified nation under one language, Turkish, and one identity. But for the millions of Kurds in southeastern Anatolia, this meant erasure. The government banned Kurdish language in schools, courts, and media. Even the word Kurd was replaced by Mountain Turk, an attempt to rewrite history itself. Speaking Kurdish in public could lead to arrest, and generations grew up unable to read or write in their own tongue. Despite this, Kurdish culture endured in secret. Families whispered lullabies in Kurdish at home, while children memorized songs that could never be sung in the streets. Resistance was quiet at first, keeping language alive in kitchens and villages. But by the late 20th century, as political movements swept the Middle East, the Kurdish struggle took on a louder, more defiant form. The Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, emerged in 1978 under Abdullah Öcalan, advocating for Kurdish rights and autonomy. Turkey labeled it a terrorist organization, and a brutal conflict erupted in the 1980s and 1990s. Entire villages were destroyed, thousands displaced, and countless imprisoned. Torture and executions became the state's answer to Kurdish demands. In prisons like Diyarbakir, Kurdish activists who dared speak their language faced unimaginable punishment. The cost of asserting Kurdish identity was often life itself. And yet repression did not erase Kurdish resilience. Across Turkey, brave teachers held clandestine language lessons while artists smuggled recordings of Kurdish music. Activists organized protests despite police crackdowns. Women became a powerful voice in the Kurdish movement, leading demonstrations and even joining militias. For many Kurds, the fight was not simply about politics but about survival as a people. The 2000s brought moments of hope. Reforms driven by Turkey's bid to join the European Union briefly loosened restrictions. Kurdish TV channels aired, and universities began offering elective courses in Kurdish. For the first time in decades, children could hear their language in public without fear. But this progress was fragile. Political winds shifted, and by the mid-2010s, President Erdogan reversed many reforms. Kurdish politicians were jailed, media outlets shut down, and once again the language of millions was pushed back into the shadows. Today, the struggle continues. Kurds in Turkey still face barriers when trying to open schools or publish books in their language. Peaceful activists are often branded as terrorists. Entire political parties advocating for Kurdish rights have been banned, their leaders imprisoned. The message is clear. To be Kurdish in Turkey is to live under suspicion, denied the dignity of one's heritage. Yet the Kurdish people refuse to disappear. Across Diyarbakir, Van, and Mardin, children still learn Kurdish at home. Families tell stories in their mother tongue, and musicians write songs that travel underground. On social media, young Kurds proudly use their language, defying censorship with every post. Their struggle is not only about resisting oppression, but about insisting on their humanity. The Kurdish story in Turkey raises larger questions about identity and power. Why does the state fear a language so deeply? Why must unity mean uniformity? History shows that erasing cultures never truly works. It only breeds resistance. The Kurdish people, silenced for generations, have proven that their voice cannot be destroyed. Like and subscribe to Yahweh Stories 44 to keep these untold struggles alive. Because when we remember stories like the Kurds, we remember that even in the face of repression, a people's spirit can never be fully erased.